The first-person shooter video game, Doom, was released in the year 1993 by the video game studio ID Software. Leading programmer and rocket scientist John Carmack single-handedly created the game engine, which he named the Doom Engine. Why the Doom engine is so special is that it improved on the engine that Carmack designed for Wolfenstein 3D. Software ID's first hit that helped to define the modern first-person shooter. Wolfenstein 3D was designed on a flat surface. In his book, Game On, Dustin Hanson describes it as a large warehouse full of hallways, no stairs, with square walls and corners that only allowed for 90-degree turns. The Doom engine changed this. It allowed multiple levels with detailed textures on the floors and walls. Hanson compares it to running around in a 5-story building full of winding turns, stairs, animated floors, traps, and lava. You should not forget about the lava. While Doom has been ported to many platforms, it was first released for the computer. The player character in Doom is an originally unnamed space marine, who was later named Doom Guy, fabulous name, who was banished to Mars as punishment for assaulting a commanding officer. Cool, right? When you start the game, you are given the option of 5 different levels of difficulty, or skill level, as the game calls it. I'm too young to die, hey, not too rough, hurt me plenty, ultraviolence, and nightmare. As well as 3 different episodes to choose from: Knee Deep in the Dead, The Shores of Hell, and Inferno. The goal of the game is to clear all levels of demons. Yes, demons on Mars, apparently, and to get as many kills as possible. Game mechanics are the building blocks of the game, the basic activities in the game, and the rules that govern them. Since there are different genres of video games, there are different families of mechanics. While the same mechanics may not be found in every game, there are 4 types of mechanics that are commonly found in video games: control mechanics, progression mechanics, resource mechanics, and uncertainty mechanics. Control mechanics are how the player is represented in-game and how the player is able to control their character. In Doom, the player is represented by the player character, Doom Guy. How the player controls Doom Guy is by the directional buttons on a keyboard. The keys allow the player to go back, forward, and to the sides. To fight against the demons, the player starts out the game with a pistol, which can be aimed using the mouse and shot using left click. Mention of the gun also leads us to the next mechanic, resource mechanics. Resource mechanics are mechanics relating to items, currencies, and resources and how they are collected, used, or consumed. As usual for video games, the player has a health bar they are supposed to maintain as they progress through the game. There is also an added armor stat that will go down before the health stat goes down. For the pistol, there is a certain amount of ammo you start the game with. If the player runs out of ammo, then they are able to fight with their fists instead. It is possible to pick up more ammo, shotguns, a chainsaw, and even a highly sought-after big gun called the BFG 9000. Other resource management mechanics available to pick up are armor upgrades and health potions. All these items can be collected by progressing through the game, which leads us to progression mechanics. Progression mechanics are the rules of how the player can move on, as well as feedback for the performance of the player. How the player is able to progress through the levels of Doom is by clearing each level of demons. Once a level is clear of all enemies, the player is able to move on to the next level or game state. The last mechanic, but not the least important, is uncertainty mechanics. Uncertainty mechanics are mechanics that try to predict and understand uncertain actions of the player. An example of this within Doom is the ability to die by falling into lava, be it from going off the sides or falling off of a moving platform. It is expected of the player that they stay on the platform, staying on track to progress through the game. However, in Doom, the platforms the player walks on are over pits of lava. It is possible for the player to fall off these platforms into the lava and die. Another example of an uncertainty mechanic is the ability for the player to let both their health and armor stats get so low that they die. While the premise of Doom is very simple, a space marine that's fighting demons, it is still a game that was very influential from the innovations it made for the first-person shooter genre. Without Doom or Wolfenstein 3D, the modern FPS genre would not be the same.